It's good to be here on behalf of Holden Parks Trust and University Circle Inc. And I'm Chris Ronayne, and I feel a part of a family, and I feel like our family has really had a great year, and it's a growing family. A couple of reflections. I was thinking, just coming back into the park, that the man who actually gave the park to Cleveland, John D. Rockefeller, I think would be pleased at what we're seeing this year with respect to cultural gardens. He had envisioned a place for urban respite where people could come together and just enjoy serenity in the city of Cleveland as it was growing. So I think in that regard, we contribute to that. We contribute to it as a place that's a gathering place and a destination and a place of reflection. So, you know, in the 1890s, the park was given, and I think the original benefactor would be proud of what we've done. This year, as Sheila and Paul reflected on, was obviously a great visitor year for Cleveland. I think if you look back on the century, it was probably, there's really 5 years that come to mind as big visitor years, and two were the first two conventions we held, and then the other two were the Great Lakes Exposition years, where we brought millions of people down to the harbor front to explore Cleveland. But this year, because of what was just referenced, you never know in sports what's going to happen, but a championship and an American League championship as well brought a lot of people to Cleveland. Certainly the other centennials with the Museum of Art and University Hospital's 150th year, all really bode for a great year in Cleveland. And then the convention itself, where I do know the city with the reflection of what we put on in July, and neither here nor there on the partisan side of it. It was really about showcasing Cleveland. Well, one of the spectacular showcases was the Cultural Gardens. Sheila knows, she was just at our annual meeting, University Circle Inc. We showcased this in front of 350 people, pictures of the Cultural Gardens, and celebrated the centennial and talked about what a contribution it is. It's only because of you. It's because of the people of Cleveland and the stewards of the Cultural Gardens. I think when I look at this, this is really a reflection of our city, first and foremost, the diversity and the mosaic of the people. But hopefully it's an aspiration for what the country means in terms of our place in the world, that we are here in the gardens, a place of peace and harmony, and an aspiration for goodwill toward one another. And I take that very seriously. I think with University Circle, we have over 100 different cultures that come through our hospitals, our universities, and as many languages that come along with it. We intentionally this year put out a welcoming infrastructure in many languages on our signs. But no better place, and I reflect on this, the first week of November, I brought 3 tour groups through the University Circle and Glenville and Cleveland at large area. They were from Brazil, they were from India, and they were from Liberia. And 3 different parts of the world came together, and there was a group that brought them here, professors, journalists, and students, to kind of see what was happening in the course of our election period. And they kind of dropped the election thing aside and just really explored things like the museums. But when we went through the Cultural Gardens, they were blown away. Seen nothing like this before. The first questions are, how do we get our gardens here? And on that point, we'll refer them to Sheila and the rest of you. But I think as you look here in 2016, it's been a great year. Cultural Gardens being, I think, the best representative of who Cleveland is as a people. And just a personal hope, I chair Holden Parks Trust and president of UCI, and we see a lot of great things happening in the gardens thanks to you. A couple of you represent gardens that opened up this year or added to your gardens. But I personally hope, as we stand at about 29 or 30 gardens, that we will be at 50 in 25 years, and that the positive contagion of growing gardens will continue to grow, and that even the expanse of the Cultural Gardens will grow north and south. And we'll look back in 2041 and see that there's many more gardens than there are today. So hats off to the Federation, to all the individual garden stewards, but collectively what you present is really the power where it's really truly synergy, and I think it leverages the best of Cleveland. I know the city of Cleveland feels that way at City Hall. We feel that way at UCI, and I know anybody who comes down here is proud. I did say to Sheila, my other hope is that over the next 25 years we grow this place as a place of education, and that the next generations that are here beyond us become real stewards. And you're starting to see it with some of the local area schools, and I just hope that grows. So I know we've got some work to do on the Centennial Plaza, and we can make that a starting point for educating more about the value proposition of the Cultural Gardens. So I want to say thanks on behalf of 2 organizations, Holden Parks and University Circle Inc. congratulations on your stewardship and sustaining this great place, and just wish everybody well in the future, and all of us as a group, and a group that grows because we attract more to the gardens. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.